Okay, so when I did the review of this kit, I said I'd probably look at doing a aftermarket decal scheme. I have some decals remaining from this set. I did Hasegawa kit in the Helen Joe markings, so I still got the nose art for this one, Miss Caesar, and I wanted to do this kit in the natural metal. I think it'll look nice with the detail in it. So the only thing is, this P-47 is a 28, whereas the MiniArt one's a 25, and the difference is the propeller, or the main. The internal, there's some difference, but that doesn't really matter from my point of view, from what I'm doing. Externally, it's the propeller, and there's the Hamilton and the Curtis propellers, so they changed. So the kit one is, where is it? So the 25 is that style propeller blade. The one I'll need is that one, and this is out of the Tamiya kit that I built a while back, so I keep my spare parts for occasions such as this, so I can use this propeller to do the natural metal scheme. I've only made a small start with the cockpit, and so far I can tell you it's MiniArt that I know, like their armour, small parts, some poor fits, and a larger parts count that may not be necessary, engineered differently, like the backing of the seat. So that's the legs for the seat, so you glue them on to the seat when you build it. That didn't go together great, took a bit of fettling to get it to go in. When I got these on, and then they have to go into the floor, so these parts go into the floor, they didn't fit. I had to sand them down to get them to go into the grooves on the floor panel. And same as a couple of these other parts. This one here, I had to give them a bit of a clean to get them to go into the groove, and this one, same again. I was going to fit this front section of the tub in, so it sits on there. Again, it won't go in, so I'm going to have to file down that tab so it'll go on. It's too big for the slot in there, which is unfortunate. So that's just on the small start I've made, so I'm going to clean that up, get that on, and do some more of these parts and see how they fit. Right, I've got the remaining cockpit pieces off. So this is the left side, so although it's in the instructions you can see which goes where, but you can't go wrong because the groove or slot on the floor matches the tab on the sidewall. However, none of them fit, so you can see that's not going. And the other side, you can see that you have to file out or sand, whichever. I'd probably use a diamond file, something with some good angles on it so that you can get at it properly, to push that out a bit so it'll fit. and the rear bulkhead almost, just that one just needs a little bit more. You can see I'm not going to force it because I'll start bending and breaking. I do not want to do that. The rudder pedals, I've got to clean off that tab in the middle yet, but they fit. So that's a slot and a hole in the sidewall. They fit all right. I've test fitted the both sides, and yeah, that fits all right. And I may have to more than likely trim off those ejection pin tabs there. They're sticking out too far. I might probably hit the side of the fuselage. So I just need to file these out so I can get it all to fit. Also, the instrument panel is two pieces, so you can see this tiny piece on the side. Be careful, there's a lot of, obviously there's a lot of tiny parts. When you cut them off your sprue, be careful the carpet monster doesn't get them. They don't, I glued mine on now. I did a dry fit. What I can tell, it'll sit in there okay, but in the instructions they have you putting it in after you put the main instrument panel in, but I can't see why you can't put that on now. Like I said, I dry fitted and it seemed alright. It's just pretty much this small piece has just got a piece like a tiny tab molded into it that sits up against the instrument panel tab, so you put it on an angle. There's not a positive groove or anything there. They were, oh, that's where that goes. You got to try and work it out how it sits. Is what I'm getting at there. What was the other bit? Oh yeah, and then so the instrument panel will sit. So you got the tabs on the back of it, and it will sit on the tabs. You see, you got tabs on the there again. They do not fit. This needs either reducing the size of those tabs or just take them out altogether and just sit it there. But you need to make sure you know where it sits, because it's not in the middle of that, it's off a bit to one side. The grooves, I mean. So yeah, so because they're a bit hard to get at, even with a file on ones, but might just use a blade and just cut them out like that. Now, I'm not ragging on the kit, I'm just showing you the experience I'm having so far with putting parts together. I'm not saying it's crap or anything like that, I'm just showing you the minor issues I've had along the way, because as you can see, you got great detail going on with it. This piece, to glue some parts on, so there's 4 parts to glue on. Just again, be careful when you're cutting them off the sprue, because some parts, they got a reasonable size sprue gate, and you just want to be careful they don't go pinging off. God knows how many hours I've spent over the years looking for parts on the floor. What else do I want to point out here? Something else? No, I don't think so. So I was going to clean up, oh sorry, yeah, that tube or the hose conduit. It's doesn't really show you, or sort of points an arrow, but there's no, so that this bottom section, there's no hole or anything that it lines up to. You line up, there's a piece coming off that part there that matches to the conduit, and I just glued that end first and just saw where the part wanted to naturally fit. So yeah, so otherwise I'll just clean these up. I'll paint it apart, so I'll paint that by itself, and the other parts I'll it'll make it easier to get at, because obviously if you put it all together you won't be able to reach everywhere with an airbrush. Any of the instruments and that need a different paint, I'll just hand paint them ones in. Okay, so I've cleaned them up, fits together now. I need to also point out not only the floor joins, just clean them up, but check your upper joins on the bulkhead. I had to clean them out a little bit as well to get it to fit. It was a bit tight. I haven't done the front ones. They are tight, but they do fit. So I may have to just give them a tiny bit of a file. That fit alright. I did a dry fit, but I haven't glued anything, so it's hard holding it all together. The instrument panel, I think I need to put a bit more bend in that. So you can see there where, so that's all you've got to fit on. It's just like a round piece molded onto that small part that you need to sit on there. And I trimmed out the tabs at the back for them. So now I just need to paint all that. So what I'll do is I'm going to leave, well, I've glued that already, the front bulkhead. Paint that, paint the others separate, hand paint in the boxes and hose and that details. Same on the other side. So that's all interior green, except for the instrument panel will be black. And then I'll put the decals on. There's some decals that also need to go onto the side walls. There's 3 decals on that piece. The other one I think's alright.